Do you obsess about your perceived negative qualities and completely miss what makes you uniquely you and awesome? Do you want to know what it feels like to just feel good about yourself and not worry about what the rest of the world thinks about you? These are just some of the questions that Christy Whitman would ask you. They might make you feel uncomfortable, or maybe not. Maybe you think, I can answer that, but then she really digs down. Christy Whitman is with us. She's an energy healer. Energy healer, what does that mean? Chakras, crystals, whatever. Christy, welcome, and thanks for addressing this health, self-care, and fitness series.
Thank you so much, Ronnie. I appreciate you having me here.
Yeah, you have quite a story. So before we get to how you are helping women, you really help thousands of women, men as well. But this series is about women and working women. Tell us a little bit about your backstory. I mean, you are a moneymaker. You had a family. You just had it all put together. We could just put you on Fortune 500 and show you off as the successful type. And yet you say you just didn't feel fulfilled.
So I kind of checked the box of all the things that I was told that was going to make me happy. And, if I was successful, if I had money, if I had my ideal body, all these things. And I had all those things and I just didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel happy. I felt really dissatisfied. As a matter of fact, I felt depressed because if I had all the things that were supposed to make me happy, then what's wrong with me, right? Why am I not happy?
I'm gonna interrupt you right there, because the first thing that clicked in my mind is when a lot of people go to their doctors and they say, I'm feeling this, it's either, oh, well, you're just tired, you're just stressed, rest more, you've got a lot on your plate. Or others may just say, well, you're depressed, and give you a prescription.
Yes. I actually had a therapist that when I went through a breakup, I was living in Chicago and I was going to marry a man, and I decided to not go through with the marriage. And so we not only ended the engagement, but we broke up. And I remember her saying to me, well, if you're sad, I can write you a prescription. And I looked at her and I'm like, I'm not needing a prescription. I'm needing to cry. And, I mean, it was like, I need to process. Had at least enough self-awareness back then. It's like, I need to process through this. I was going down a road where I thought I was going to get married. And I had this, this idea of this life with this person. And now it abruptly has ended because I realized something, that I don't want to marry this person. I don't need a pill's not going to help me do that. Crying is,
And nothing against those who do need a little help with their chemistry and doctors. It's nothing against that. Okay.
Not saying that. I'm just saying that here's the thing. Depression and anxiety, right? We have pills for those. And anxiety is an over-amplification of an emotion that hasn't been expressed, like fear or anger or worry, those kind of things. And on the other side of the spectrum, depression, for most people that take them, and not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm just saying, for those people that are depressed, it's a suppression of their emotions, like sadness.
Right.
And as long as we can get to a place where we're not suppressing or escaping or running away from our emotions, and learn that our emotions are just energy and we can sit with and process our emotions, then we're going to feel better.
So a lot of people can, if it's not a medical thing, if it's not a chemical thing in the brain, well, we all have chemical things happening in our brain, but if it's not a clinical depression, we all can work with our anxiety and our depression and our feelings, correct?
Yes. I mean, I've seen clients all over the world, for years, be able to literally sit with the fear that's bringing up the anxiety and understand
it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. And understand that where the fear is coming from, because anytime we're feeling any lower level emotions such as fear or worry or disappointment or sadness or any of those things, it's coming from a perspective of lack. Because if you look at one of the universal laws that I talk about is law of sufficiency and abundance. And if you look at it as like a spectrum, on one end of the spectrum is lack and limitation, the consciousness of shortage, suffering, that sort of thing. And if our thoughts and our perspective is coming from that, I'm not enough, I don't have enough, he's not doing enough, there's not enough men out there, I can't lose the weight I want, I can't get in the shape I want, I'm too old to whatever. When we're coming from lack, then we're going to feel bad. But if we're coming from what's good and right, and what we're the positive aspects or what we're satisfied with in life, then we're going to feel good. So it's the
You
spectrum.
can build on that.
Absolutely. Because
Is that what we talk about when we say gratitude, start being grateful for the things you have, because that changes how you feel, or how does that work?
well, gratitude is one. Gratitude, appreciation, love, those are the highest vibrations, and they're on that side of the spectrum of abundance, right? And so when we're in a place of truly feeling grateful for something, we're not in lack. We're not looking for what's wrong or bad. We're looking for what's right and good. So if you look at it as like a spectrum, right? And that lack over here, you'll always feel bad. If you feel bad in any way, you're in lack. If you feel good, keep doing what you're doing, right? Keep showing the gratitude and appreciation because you're in abundance. But there's a tipping point. There's a tipping point from lack getting you over to abundance. And that tipping point is satisfaction. So when you can find satisfaction, doesn't mean you have to be over the moon, overexcited, but just at least find the positive aspects about your marriage, about your body, about your finances, about your relationships, about your whatever it is. Find the positive aspects. Now you're going to start to feel better. And when you start to feel better, that creates an energetic momentum as well.
Now, let me ask you this. Is there a difference, and I believe there is, in saying, okay, I'm satisfied with my body? Is there a difference between that and just settling? Like, okay, I'm just going to accept how I am. I'm just always going to have a muffin top. I'm never going to have time. My marriage isn't always going to, finding excuses for the things that are, and lying to yourself saying, well, I'm content. Is there a difference between truly being satisfied and building on that and just settling, like denial?
Absolutely. Yeah. So settling is like, oh, well, it's never going to get any better. I just mind to accept what is. That doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good because who we are as creators, we are creative beings. We always have desires birthing through us. And when we just go, oh, well, this is the way it is, no matter what I do, we're actually coming from a victim mentality. And it's like, it's almost like an abdication. You're giving up your power. You're giving up your creativity versus being in a place of, I like my body. My body is beautiful. Finding maybe if you don't like your thighs, focus on, I love my waist. I love my arms. I like my hair. I like this. I like that. Focus on the things that you do, because the more that you love and appreciate yourself, the more you'll have to love and appreciate.
And then you'll want to work on everything.
Right. But we can't compartmentalize energy. So if we're loving and accepting ourselves and looking at the positive things in our life, it doesn't mean that you look, say, again, if you don't like your thighs, if you're like, okay, I'd like to improve my thighs, but there's a difference between going, I'd like to improve that versus berating yourself for not looking the way you want. It's a big difference.
Let me backtrack a little bit, because you were like I can imagine you, the attaché carrying the nice suit and outfit, working woman, professional woman. How did you, and I'm going to play devil's advocate, so no bad email or text to me. When you started working with energy, you're an energy healer. How did you believe in all that and come to believe, and how do you know it's real? And how did you get into it, I suppose?
Well, it's funny because I was living in Chicago and I was, very not woo-woo at all. I never heard of meditation or anything like this. And I ended up moving to California, and I met a girl who was cutting my hair. She ended up being a really good friend of mine. But when she was cutting my hair, I was involved in conversation with her, and I noticed something about her that I'd never noticed in anybody before. And being as blunt as I am, I said to her, okay, Janine, what do you do? And she just started laughing. She knew what I meant. She says, I meditate. And I'm thinking, meditate? Like, this is 25 years ago, right? So now I'm thinking of some like guru with a light white beard and a white clothes, in a yogi position, oming, that was meditating. And she just completely shifted my paradigm of what meditation and who would meditate and why someone would want to do that. And so she introduced me to her meditation teacher, and I went to her house, and in her house, she had that clinky clinky kind of music, and, the crystals everywhere and statues of angels. And I walked in and I'm like, what in the heck is this? Like, talk about woo woo. This is so not me. And I sat down.
I'm in LA now,
Well, I was in Northern California, but it was like, wow. Yeah. So I sat down on the floor with her, and she said something that forever changed my life. Now, remember, this is 25 years ago. We didn't have internet, it wasn't like this is all over the place. So we didn't have The Secret, all this other stuff. And she said to me, you create your reality. And something in me just said yes. Like it just knew that to be true. And then immediately my mind kicked in and went, well, how? Like, what do you mean I create my own reality? And she said, by your thoughts. You're either attracting things to you or repelling things from you based on the way you think. And again, it was like, yes, but how? It was like I could feel the split in me. There was a part of me that was like leaning in going, yes. And there was another part of me going, but I don't understand how. What do you mean my thoughts? And I was at that point in my life, I could change my thought. I mean, I knew I could change my mind. I'm not going to wear this. I'm going to wear this instead. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go here. I knew I could change my mind. But to have thoughts, like my thoughts are my thoughts. What do you mean?
Right.
And to know that I had influence over my thoughts and that what I feel what is actually is just a thought. And that if I wanted something different in my life, I just needed to change my thoughts about it.
Your perception.
Yeah. So she gave me a assignment. She said, I want you to just come back in a week, but during this week, I want you to pay attention to your thoughts. Never had done that before. I became the witness to my thoughts instead of the person thinking of. And I didn't realize, and this is so key for the women that you serve, is that my thoughts were so negative and I was so critical and judgmental about myself, about everybody else, about God, about the universe. It was like I was constantly beating myself up. And no matter what, this was like the answer for me. No matter what I was going to accomplish, no matter how svelte my body was, no matter if I married the greatest guy in the world, no matter if I had the career that gave me fulfillment, if I am inside of myself constantly beating myself up, berating myself, I'm never going to feel good.
Right. Well, what's the difference, Christy, between your perceived thoughts and wishing? Just like some people say affirmations and they're just wishing they'll come true. Like if you say it, it's an enchantment, like a little, like witch's brew. If I just keep saying it, I'll make it come true. Or like tap your red shoes 3 times. What's the difference between wishing for something but still not feeling it and actually feeling it?
Well,
And
that's the thing is that most people with affirmations, when they say them, it's like, I am abundant, right? I don't really believe that. It's like, I am super wealthy. Like there's no energy behind it, right? So affirmations are a tool. They're good to be able to, if you're having a negative thought about a particular thing in the moment you're having it, like, God, I don't have enough money, right? For example, or God, I hate the way I look, to shift into an affirmation of, I love and appreciate my body. Now, to say that, you're shifting your thought away from what you don't want to what you do want. But to just say that and then move on, you've already got momentum energetically going with that thought of, I don't like my body. And instead shifting it into, I love and appreciate my body, and saying it over and over until you feel it, until you start living it. That's when affirmations actually can do something. Saying it once is like going to the gym, picking up a weight, doing a bicep curl, and then putting it down and then going to do something else. And you go to a leg lift and you do one and then you're out. It doesn't do anything.
So with repetition comes actually feeling it and believing it. And then you work towards that. So you take action so it comes true.
Yes, but it's more about the energy of embodying it. Right. And it's not just saying it, right? It's like, as I'm saying, I love and appreciate my body. Now you imagine yourself loving and appreciating your body. You feel inside, you use all the parts of us as a human being, our mental faculty, our feeling faculty, like all the different parts, right? So when you think about it, I teach people how to become an energy master of their lives, right? And there's 5 aspects of doing that. One is what we say. Watching your words and like the affirmations and the things that you say is critical, because everything starts with the word. It even says in the beginning, in the Bible, in the beginning, there was the word. The words are the beginning part of manifestation. And so as a matter of fact, and I'd love to give everybody a gift. I have a free 30-day program called Watch Your Words. You could go to watchyourwords.com. But it literally is like 30 days of words and phrases that pull our energy down into lack, what they are, why we want to shift it, and what do we want to say instead. It's phenomenal because it really makes you aware of the words and the language that we speak. So you've got your words and your language, you've got your thoughts, you've got your perspective, which is your expectations, your belief, how you look at things. You have your emotions, and then the actions that you take. So those 5 things are really all that we can control in the world. It's our own individual consciousness. And when we are looking at something, wanting to shift off of what is, and we don't like the results that we see in our life, in any aspect of our life, when we can take an affirmation and make that the first thing, that the words that we say out loud, I love and appreciate my body. And then the thoughts that come around that, I love and appreciate my body. My body has gotten me through so many different things. My body has birthed 2 boys. My body has, is healthy. Whatever we want to continue to say, not going back towards what we don't want, but only speaking of what we do want. That helps the thoughts. That helps you then feel differently. Because remember that spectrum we talked about, right? If you're on the spectrum of loving and appreciating your body, you're going to feel good. If you're looking at how you can't love and appreciate your body because it doesn't look a certain way, then you're going to feel bad. So our emotions are based on where our perspective is. It is in lack, what we are lacking in our body, or what we appreciate about our body. And then the actions that we take, if we're feeling good, we're going to want to go work out more. We're going to want to eat better. We're going to want to drink water. We're going to want to get rest. We're going to want to do everything to show our body that we love and appreciate it, whether it's getting a massage or doing acupuncture or whatever it is, to continue to be on that momentum towards what we want and less on what we don't.
So I know many women actually have spent years just trying to stay with the gym and then they drop it, or getting with their girlfriends and then they drop it. How have you helped women be successful? Because I know they have been. Finally get past I need to be motivated, to realize it's just not going to come into you like a ghost. How do you help women who just keep saying they're just not motivated, or they're tired, or they just can't stick with it? And they go from diet to diet, to types of exercises to type of exercises. How is it that you've helped women get past that?
Well, what we're really talking about is the difference between willpower and motivation versus inspiration. And so again, if we use the spectrum, right, usually we're motivated or we have willpower, and that tries to come from a place of, I don't like how I feel or look, so I want to lose weight because I'm getting ready for a wedding or a party or something.
It's always negative. It's always a challenge, it sounds like. And that can be an albatross.
Well, that's it. If you're focused on, I don't like where I'm at, so that I got to change, I got to make it different, you're coming from lack. If on the other hand, you start looking at, what do you want? So how do you want your body to be? What do you want to look like, feel like? Why do you want it? Why are you wanting your body? Because I want to look good. I want to go into my closet and try on anything at a moment's notice and just throw it on and go, I look sexy. I look great. I look awesome. I feel good, right? And ultimately, how do you want to feel in your life, in your body? I want to feel love. I want to feel supported. I want to feel secure. I want to feel confident. Then that's what we have to start cultivating. And that's an inspiration versus a motivation. And inspiration, and inspiration really comes from connecting with the truth, the blueprint that all of us are supposed to be healthy and full of vitality and full of energy. We're not supposed to be depressed and on, antidepressants and fatigued and tired and over caffeinating ourselves and having to push ourselves to go to the gym. Our bodies naturally want to move. Think about when we were kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Skipping, jumping, we did everything to move our bodies. Our bodies love to move.
That is true. And that's why it's that fine line, but it's that aha moment, as we all call it, that many women who have tried everything, diets or whatever, all of a sudden just get on this program with you, or whatever program they pick. And it's simpler than most people think, huh?
It is, but it's like
you have to do the work, but yeah,
of course. Action's part of the way of being an energy master. You have to take energy. You have to take action in order to create energy. But the thing is that most people think of it's either diet and exercise. Yeah. And a lot of times they don't realize that it's not. Yes, of course, diet or what you eat and exercise is important for maintaining your health in your body. But one thing that they don't get that's even more important, it's your energy. Because if your energy is flowing towards what you do want and how you do want to feel and what you do want to experience, then everything's going to be in alignment. But if you're feeling internally, I'm not enough, but I'm going to go do all these things, diet and exercise, there's this sabotage that happens. And then women beat themselves up even more because they're like, it's like that mind. We all know that mind that's like, okay, I want to lose weight. I want to get in shape, but there's the ice cream. I don't want the ice cream. I want to lose weight and I want to get in shape. But the ice cream you're not feeling good about yourself. And the ice cream is actually going to feel better than going to the gym. No, it's like this fight, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, fine, I'll eat the ice cream. And then it's the same head, it's the same mind that goes, you big fat dummy, you said that you wanted to lose weight. Why are you eating ice cream? And then you start beating yourself up.
So a lot of women, and this is really telling to me, treat training or showing up for an exercise class, deep down it sounds like it's a punishment because, okay, I've got to do this or else I won't get what I want. So actually it's more of a punishment rather than I'm in the energy to do what I can in this class. I have the energy that, wow, I'm taking care of myself by getting a personal trainer. I'm getting that now. Because if you treat like, okay, I pay for this, I gotta go to the gym, that becomes more of like your jail sentence.
Yes. Yeah. Why would you want to go and exercise? What are the benefits? See, for me, I absolutely love. I work out 4 to 5 times a week. I love it. Right now, I'm just massively into Pilates, and I do like hard Pilates with a teacher and a reformer, and I'm challenged all the time. And for me, it's like, I know the reasons. I like to feel strong. I like to have that time just for me. Right. It's like, it's time. It's Christy's time. I'm not a coach. I'm not an energy healer. I am not a author. I am not a wife or a mom or a daughter. I am just Christy in my own time. And it's like, and it keeps me present because as I'm doing a bicep curl or as I'm doing, leg circles or any of these things or back bends or some of the cool things that I do that are more challenging, I have to be present and it's my time for me. It feels good. It releases stress. It creates endorphins. I mean, there's so many different, I sleep better. There's so many different benefits. And that's why instead of looking at, I got to go to the gym because I got to go lose weight. How inspired are you going to be to do that? If you,
yay, I'm going to go be in my Zen. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I just suggest that whatever you are doing to that piece, I always say that when I created my Creating Your Ideal Body course, there's 3 parts. It's the energy, it's your mindset, it's the energy you give out, it's the food that you eat, and it's moving your body. If in that aspect of moving your body, you hate lifting weights, well, there are so many other choices that we have now. We've got CrossFit, we've got yoga, we've got Pilates, we've got bicycling, we've got spin classes. I mean, we've got so many different,
different types of resistance. When there's there are like a dozen ways to weightlift and variety. People just don't realize until they contact an expert, but yeah.
And if there's so many other solutions out there too. If you don't, for years I worked out with a trainer because I like the fact that I go to the gym, the trainer hands me the weights, tells me what to do, has the program all laid out. I go there, it's totally mindless. I just get to focus and build my body, right? And for, a good year and a half, I decided not to work with a trainer. And I felt like I wasn't as focused. I would try to do my own thing. So for me, I set myself up with success. It's why coaching is so phenomenal, is that you have someone holding you accountable. And so for me, it was like when I got together with this Pilates instructor that does one-on-one reformer, she adjusts everything to me. I go there, she tells me what to do, she encourages me, and it's phenomenal for me. So
you just focus on how you feel from the inside out. That's what you focus just on you.
Yeah. But it's like, if you're someone that's not very motivated and you're like, when I go to the gym, I just kind of dabble here and dabble there, then get a trainer or get a workout partner. There are so many solutions, but understand that, training your body, it affects you energetic. It's a good way to release anger. It's a great way to release frustration. It's a great way to release all of your energy. Your body loves it because you're sweating. You're getting rid of the toxins. Your brain loves it because you're having endorphins created. Your body loves it because you're strengthening it. Your body loves moving. And if you can find a way to align with your body, and doing something that you love. Like I hate running. I've always hated it. I remember as a kid when we had to run the mile, I was always like, oh, I hate this. Right. So I tried running, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I'm going to run. And I did it for 20 minutes. I'm like, this is so boring. But to go to
still not you. Yeah.
Yeah. But some other people love it.
Absolutely.
So you have to find what you love, right? Maybe it's a spin class. I see my next door neighbor, when COVID and everything was in lockdown, she got her bike out and she rides. I think she's up to like 10 miles doing like a loop around our.
There she goes again.
Seriously.
Yeah, wow.
Like there's Christy. Oh, I just saw her on the way to the grocery store, and there she goes again. Exactly.
Love it.
That's what she just became like connected with, riding her bike. And she's in her 60s, in the best shape of her life.
Oh, wow. Ever. Love it. I love to see those. See, I'm in my 50s, and I stopped saying what age range, because people are like, well, what ages do you train? All ages, all sorts of fitness levels. For me, it's fitness level and mindset, frame of mind and fitness level, because a 20-year-old can be so much different than one 50-year-old, and yet at another fitness level than another 20-year-old. So yeah, it's fitness levels and mindset, frame of mind. And of course, how your body is, what condition they're in.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
But coming from that place of my body wants to be healthy, and my body wants to, it's like when you make friends with your body and you start loving and appreciating your body, it's a whole different life.
And I'm sure that a lot of working women, whether they're stay-at-home moms or they're the corporate type or they're entrepreneurs, whatever, when they start working with you, an energy healer, it starts getting them on the right track, correct?
Yeah, because we all have, let me explain something from an energy perspective. We all have pain points. We all have imprints. We all have, different programming. And when you can understand that what you're bumping up against is an imprint, and it's something that's rooted in lack or limitation, or it feels like you're just stuck somewhere, or you feel like you're sabotaging yourself, or you have a block and you can't just figure, why am I so blocked here? It is because of energy. And when you easily release the block, then everything opens up. It's like this. It could be 2 years ago. It could be when you were an adolescent. It could be when you were a child. We make decisions about things based on where our awareness and consciousness is in the now. And if we make a decision that I'm so bad at love, and I just can't seem to make relationships work, right? That becomes an imprint, and then that becomes how we create, right?
Yeah.
If we say to ourselves at 8 years old, I don't like my thighs. My mom's thighs are fat. I'm going to be fat. No matter what I do, I'm never going to have thin thighs. That's an imprint, and we would create from that point. So we can change decisions, and we can change our energy and open up our energy field by releasing the old stuck imprints of the past.
That's what you mean by energy. It's really not that woo-woo. It's just real.
It is.
My mouth dropped when you said at 8 years old. Like, I wasn't thinking about my thighs at 8 years old, but nowadays, yeah, it's true. I have friends and I have clients whose 7, 8, 9-year-olds are looking at Instagram and already looking at their bodies. And it just amazes me. It's like, I was still running around not even worrying about my body at 8. God, have times changed.
Well, I was one of those people that I was in 7th grade. I was addicted to diet pills. 7th grade, that's very young. Addicted to diet pills. Eighth grade, I was bulimic. I was doing everything to not eat, and I would exercise like 4 or 5 hours a day and eat like 2 hard-boiled eggs the whole entire day, trying to starve myself. Because I watched my mom and I watched my older sister constantly beating themselves up about the way
and dieting. And dieting, probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every Monday, that magical Monday, my mom was going to lose weight and she'd go on her diet. Yeah. Right. And so fruits and vegetables, that was diet time. Why would I want to eat fruits and vegetables?
Exactly.
I didn't start eating fruits and vegetables until college, when I literally changed the story and changed the paradigm. I love vegetables. When I was a kid, because I mean, dieting, that's deprivation.
Right.
We are meaning makers. Yeah. And we create meanings and associations. And as long as those stay in place, it's like this. If you were at a soccer game right? And you're in the front row of a soccer game and the soccer ball is coming at you and you put your hands up like this because soccer balls, right? Well, most of us don't know that we can put our hands down. And so we're walking around life like this, trying to block ourselves from a soccer ball that no longer exists, or someone criticizing us, or something we're afraid of, or something that we're worried about, when the threat doesn't even exist, but we're still blocked. We haven't put our hands down.
And sometimes there will be a soccer ball you didn't see. You'll live.
You rub your head and you go, ow, and it's okay. But that's what emotions are. It's like, things happen. Contrast happens in this world. Yeah. I mean, there are things I had. It was so crazy. The last week I was at a grocery store. I was coming back to my car, and this woman was in this very aggressive yellow, not Corvette. It was like a muscle car. And she drove in Camaro. She drove in so aggressively that I just kind of looked at her. And she got out of the car and she goes, "What the is your problem?" And I just felt like someone energetically got me with a taser. And I'm like, I don't have a problem. I was like, I mean, I couldn't even get a good comeback.
Right.
I was just so like, and I had to sit there and I'm like, okay, I'm an energy master. I'm going to process this out. I'm not going to take this personally. I'm not going to let her and her energy zap me for the rest of my day. And I was able to come back to my own energy, have compassion for myself that I was attacked in that way, but have compassion for her because clearly she was having a bad day. So to have these tools to understand that when stuff happens, it's all just energy.
Yeah.
But
I deal with it. Mm-hmm.
But I could have let that become a story and, become vindictive and become angry. And that's not the way I want to live my life. I have a choice, as we all do, in what energy I want to live in.
God, that inspires me. That so inspires me not to take things personally. Just go in your moment, and find the way to deal with that energy. Because you're right, it is energy. Christy, talk to me a little bit about a council, because let's say people go on your website, ChristyWhitman.com, and the first thing they see is create with Christy and the council. That piqued my interest, but what is the council exactly?
So this is woo-woo. I'm a channel for beings of light. They're ascended masters called the Divine Council of Light. And so my consciousness goes out, their consciousness comes in, and I'm channeling. So I speak, they speak through me, higher wisdom and higher energy. They help people heal their energy patterns because they're in a different experience of energy, and they can see people holographically and where they have imprints. And it's pretty amazing. They never cease to amaze me because they can meet someone for the very first time and see an imprint for someone and say, this happened when you were 5.5 or 6 years old. And the person's like, oh my God, that's when I was sexually molested, or that's when my parents got a divorce, or that's when this happened. And then they help the person release that energy, and that they start to feel free again. They start to feel more of themselves than ever. So
well, it's something to look into if people are interested. Something like that. So you said you wanted to give a gift. Thank you. I was busy typing when you said that because I thought, wow, I want to try that. And how do people first react to that? Like, do they think, oh, more homework, more to do? Or is it really easy and fast and it actually helps?
Well, it's practical stuff. I mean, that's what we need when we're talking about energy and how do you change your life. This is a practical thing that you can just pay attention to what you're saying. And so I made these videos. They're anywhere from 1.5 minutes to 4 minutes because I know people are busy. But imagine getting this video every day in your mailbox. You watch it at your convenience, and you get to see the word of the day. And when you start becoming aware of it and you listen to the video, you're going to go, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I don't want to say I can't afford this anymore. I want to say that's not a financial priority. Or I don't want to say, God, I miss this. I want to say, I'm looking forward to this, right? And there's all 30 of these words and phrases that when you just shift the language, it's not faking it till you make it. It's not, that kind of thing. It's literally just shifting your language, because it's all those little shifts that makes a huge difference in the momentum that you create energetically.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm going to try it. Watchyourwords.com. So we have the link for everybody to go up there. And so that's your gift for us, for people watching. Fitness is your best asset. Love it, Christy. Thank you for sharing your time and your story. I know it was personal. And I know that you're a mom now. Are you a soccer mom?
I am a soccer mom. I was laughing. I was telling my friend, it was a couple years ago, both my boys were playing soccer and I'm at a soccer field and I go, I don't know how this happened. How did this happen? I became a soccer mom. She goes, well, you had kids, you signed them up for soccer and that's how you became a soccer mom. I'm like, okay, thanks, Mark. You know, but it was
Logical.
like, it's like, oh, it is logical, but it was like, it's so funny that both of my boys, you know, they play on these teams and now I am so into soccer and watching them and, you know, something that I'm so appreciative that we're now able to go back and do after, you know, a long break of it and to see them enjoying themselves playing soccer.
Yay. And obviously you found love, your true love.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. So you have your love, you have your loves, your little boys, you have your work, you're a working woman, you love your body, you take care of your body. It can be done, ladies. It can be done. So
Well,
everybody take advantage. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like I wrote in my book, The Art of Having It All, you really can have it all. And it's really what you define having it all, what aspects and in that you want to create in your own life. I mean, it's different for every woman, it's different from decade to decade, you know, but you get to create what you want in your life. There's no limitations and you can have your own definition of having it all.
I like that. I love it. Thank you for your time. This has been so wonderful. Christy Whitman, go on the link, take advantage of her words and anything else on her website. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you, Ronnie.